Welcome to Best Friends. This is full summertime. We are really rolling now. It's kitten time. We're up to our armpits in meowing and purring, and we're even running a sizzling hot sticker sale on our adult cats. Please come on by, and when you decide which kitty you want, if there's a sticker on the paperwork, you can take it to the front desk and find out how much you get off of that adoption. And I can guarantee you that you'll be pleasantly surprised. So, with that, let's look at some cats. I really feel a little bit like a used car salesman, but I guess this is a step up. It's a used cat salesman. This one is definitely one of our special summer sizzlers. She is a beautiful girl, a head nudger, a purrer, yes, and a very solid cat. According to our volunteers, she weighs about 84 pounds. I can just about promise you that it's not that much, but she is a really solid girl. And she's lovely. A little camera shy, but lovely. Aren't you? Yes. Stick out your pretty little cream-colored toes. Yes, that would be good. Instead, she is going, "Why am I here and what are you doing?" Better, much better, yes. This is a true tortoiseshell. No white on this kitty. I have it on good authority that this kitty is being very subdued right at the moment, and that its normal personality is significantly more active. This is an Agouti Tabby. Can you see the tipping in the coat? Isn't that lovely? It gives her the appearance of a very sleek porcupine. Hedgehog? Oh, maybe. Anyway, she's a tabby. I think that the fact that her eyes are almost the identical color of her coat is really very attractive. She's only about, I would say not quite 3 months old, but she is just a precious little girl. This kitty has both the personality, the coat, and the body structure of an Oriental Shorthair. If you were to picture this cat with Siamese markings, I think you would have what most people are more accustomed to seeing. But I still think that this is probably, if not a purebred Oriental Shorthair, there's an awful lot of it in there. Her hair is just slightly longer than it would normally be, and she very clearly has that temperament. She's also a talker, very vocal kitty. She will talk to you, and this is her favorite toy. She always has it with her, and boy, does she ever slam it around. Really, this is a kitty that has a terrific sense of humor. If you have her in your house, you're going to laugh a lot, and I think that's a huge advantage in a cat. Right now, she's kind of into the catnip that I have on the towel here, so she's a little more relaxed. But I've watched her in the last hour bank off of the walls of her condo, and I imagine that she'd do the pretty much the same thing in a house. She really, really loves her little sock whatever that is. Fish, lamb, something indiscriminate. But it's a favorite thing. Isn't she darling? This is a great choice as a pet. If you have really small children in the family, this is a kitty that's going to be pretty rowdy in play, and so that's something you might want to watch. But at the same time, I know kids that would really love this cat. We go from small and slender to very large and cobby. This little girl has 7 toes, 6 toes. I haven't counted them precisely on each foot, but definitely more than anyone ever intended to give a cat. I don't know whose share she ended up with, but it was more than her own. Plus the fact that she is a Manx. So she has a very stumpy tail. And some people find that rather attractive. I think it's kind of cute. It makes her look as much like a bunny as a cat, just without the long ears and really long hind legs. But the thing about this one is that she is also part of our summer Sizzler sale, I believe, and she is a very pretty girl. Nice and solid. This is a comfort cat. This is one that feels really good to snuggle. Of course, to be honest with you, I don't know many cats that don't feel really good when you snuggle them. And she has a wonderful, very clear demarcation between the dark and light portions of her coat, right up the middle. Very cute. This is Angie. Angie is also part of our Summer Sizzler event. Beautiful green eyes. Wonderful medium tabby coat. Every now and then it surprises me because people will refer to tabby with the assumption that tabbies only come in one color. And of course, that's not the way it works. Cats have different genetic commands for coat pattern and for coat color, and the pattern in a coat is almost infinite. You can have tabby, which means that there are stripes in it, but how the stripes run and what configuration they take just is as individual as a fingerprint. And then color, we have brown tabbies and black tabbies and gray tabbies and orange tabbies and a number of other sorts. This one is a combination of two, and truly she kind of tends toward a patch tabby because you can see the red in her coat too, but you can see the striping very clearly. In some cultures, tabby simply refers to any animal that is a cat. She's lovely. This is just a very nice kitty. Since we were talking about tabbies, this is another type of tabby. This one is a black tabby. You can see how much more dark fur she has in her coat. And you can also see the agouti tipping very clearly in hers, where the fur is tipped in a lighter color, and that goes almost throughout her coat. But of course it's on top of the striping. Because she is darker and she has a very distinct striping pattern on her forehead, She looks kind of like she's frowning, but this is just a wonderful, gentle, loving cat. A great choice as a family pet. Really pretty placid, and that's always a good thing if you have a household that isn't placid. This is one of our kittens. This little boy has some cinnamon striping that runs through his coat. That is kind of common with black cats. Their kitten fur evens out as they get older, but very rarely do you see any animal that is completely and solidly black. This one has a tiny patch of white at the base of its throat, and I don't think it's hair that he's pulled off of his favorite toy, which is one of those horrid mice that I think is probably made out of a real animal. Scary as heck, but the kittens really do seem to enjoy them. Then again, that's their calling in life. Cats are predators, and it's something that we try and make sure that pet owners understand, because they can be very hard on our wildlife because they are consummate predators. Definitely are. There we go, little one. We have other kittens. Ones that we had lined up for the show today actually are being adopted right now, and so won't be available for the show. We are having a terrific rate of adoption on them, but we also have more coming in all the time. Oh, look at those eyes. Isn't she striking? Wow, what a beautiful cat. This is Pickles. Pickles has raised her litter of kittens like an excellent mom that she is, and now she is ready to have a home of her own. She's taken care of everybody else, and now it's her turn. What a lovely, lovely cat. She's just purring as I'm petting her. She can't decide whether she prefers the catnip or the petting. So we'll compromise and have a bit of both, okay? She has a great easy care coat, very sleek and pretty. And those eyes are just like lanterns. Just a beautiful cat. Also a very forgiving cat. This would also be a good kitty in a family setting, even if you have young children. This is Feathers. I think her name might be Feathers because she eats things that have them, but I'm not sure. She's a beautiful medium-haired black. She has raised 2 litters of kittens, one her own and one somebody else's that she raised for them. She has that interesting cinnamon shading in her coat. Generally, that's a nutrition thing, and when a cat is lactating, then they don't always have the best levels of nutrition, but some cats are just marked that way. She's a pretty girl. She has a 3/4 length tail too, a shorter tail, and that's sort of interesting. It's a distinctive factor anyway. Now her eyes are green instead of yellow, and she's very playful. Yes, is. She's been in foster care for most of the time that she's been with us, and the foster home did a wonderful job with her. She's a sweet girl. Yes, is. This is the last of a litter. Mama and all of this little one's brothers and sisters have already been adopted. And I think maybe the best was last, because this is a great kitten. Under my hand, he's purring so hard that he's just vibrating, and has that lovely black easy care coat, short, with no matting. I mean, this coat won't mat. You could even try to, and I don't think it would. Very silky. You're very cute. Whoops, that was an interesting noise. Don't know what it was. No, I don't, but it was very interesting. Oh, goodness, just purring away. And again, you know, sometimes we have more black cats than at other times, and today we do. This one is a female, and she is absolutely a sweet cat. She has a very plush, thick coat. Just, you know, think velvet, because it's amazingly, oh, we got catnip up our nose. It is amazingly plush. If you rub it the wrong way, it is just as thick as if you rub it the right way. Very different. And she has a funny little spattering of white dots on her head and neck and in her ears. It's just kind of cute. You know, we keep brushes in the cat room because most of our kitties do love brushing, and of course it's good for their coats. But that's something that we would really love to see adopters continue once they get the cat home, because it's really a very nice bonding thing with your cat too. And most cats really enjoy it. If you or any of your friends want to have your pet microchipped, which is a good form of identification for your pet, our next clinic is going to be at the Lacey Farmers Market, or I think they call it the Community Market actually, on the 14th of August from 11 in the morning until 2 in the afternoon. If you're bringing your pet, make sure you've either acquired a license for it first, or be prepared to purchase a license while you're at the event. They will be on sale there, but that is the format we use for recording the microchip, and a microchip that isn't recorded with your name and phone number is just virtually useless. So it's a very important piece of the microchip identification process. So hopefully we'll see you there. And our thanks to, I believe it is South Bay Veterinary Clinic, who is providing a vet to do the microchipping for us at that event. Now, we're going to go see some dogs. And when I say some, I mean a few. Some of our dogs right now seem to be the size of, I wouldn't even say a small pony. I would come close to a normal pony. And no, I'm not going to do that. But all of them that we can show you, we will, and we'll tell you about the rest. Anyway, stick with us. This is Joey. Joey's a yellow lab. I bet you could tell that. Joey's not neutered yet, and he's about 2 years old. Joey has a nervous cough. We have isolated him before because we thought maybe it was kennel cough, but it's not. No, it's not. He's a very handsome, high-energy guy. and he really, really loves to walk and run and do stuff. And he needs a lot of exercise. And I don't mean that he needs it just to stay slim and trim. I mean his temperament requires it. Otherwise, he will be a neurotic mess. Right. One of the things about labs is that they have an insatiable appetite, and they love to chew. One of the prime objectives of chewing for labs is wood and occasionally lawn furniture and sometimes plants. But if you give them leg of cow, pretty much you can help deal with that inclination. You often see labs that are overweight because people think that because they remain hungry, they need more food, which is not the case. A lab will do with a normal amount of food and then maybe something to chew on. They do have a need to have something in their mouth, though, it seems. And a dog that has an opportunity to chew appropriately is going to be a calmer dog. I think he's a nice boy. And like most labs, he's probably terrific with kids and loves to play ball. Don't know, but he does have a very appealing personality. Yes, he's a good dog. Very nice and solid. This is Jack. Jack is part Schipperke. Schipperkes are an interesting breed. They are a small dog, usually black, normally have a kind of a little bump where their tail ought to be. They were originally bred to protect the canal boats in Holland, and they did a very good job of that. This one is mixed with something else. I'm not quite sure what. He had an incident with one eye long before he came to us, and it is scarred, but it does not cause him pain. And I could tell you that it really doesn't slow him down much. I don't think he even notices. He is able to get along well with other dogs. He is not a good dog to have around cats. In fact, it would be a very bad idea to adopt Jack if you have a cat in the family. He is a very active little guy, and he has to have a fenced yard, because if he doesn't have, he will be out visiting the entire neighborhood and probably causing trouble for the neighbor's cats as well, right? Probably, yeah. He won't tell you that, though. He'd wait till you found out for yourself. Nice, easy care coat. Is not a very large dog. And, I'd say weighs around maybe 20 pounds. He's a good boy. Yes, he is. This is Stuart. Stuart originally came from us in December of this last year, and he was a normal, slender dog at that point. Now, Stuart is a blimp, but he's been a loved blimp, and he still is a very lovable dog. He's got one of the prettiest brindle coats I think I've ever seen on a pet. They call these what I think is tigre, which would be striped dog, and he does have very clear striping, which is really even unusual in a brindle. Normally it's a broken pattern. Just a handsome, handsome dog. Now, like most of our bully breeds, we would require this one to have a fence and no other male dogs in the household. He probably would do well with a female. This is a very gentle guy. He really is, yes. Very gentle, very sweet. And like most pets, pretty stoic. Yeah. You're singing to me, Stuart. Yes, you are. You're singing. Anyway, this is a very good choice for a family dog. And we would always encourage people who are interested in one of our dogs to bring the whole family down to get to know them and make sure that they react the same way with all of your family members, because it is possible that a dog will do well with one family member and not with others. And that can range from bonding too tightly to one and then protecting that person from the others, or it can range to being too protective even of the children. So always a good idea to know about that first. We have several other dogs in adoption right now, and most of them are pit mixes of one variety or another. I'm showing you Stuart just because I happen to like Stuart, and I think he deserves a really great new home, as all dogs do. Anyway, come see us. We're at 3120 Martin Way. Our hours are 9:30 to 5:30 Tuesday through Friday, and 9:30 to 4 o'clock on Saturdays. We are closed on Sundays and Mondays, and we do stop our adoptions a half hour before our closing time so we can finish up all of the paperwork. We do, however, allow you to place an animal on hold for 24 hours if you make a choice very late in the day, and that will allow you to come back the following workday and finish up the adoption without somebody else taking the pet that you want. Isn't he lovely? He's just the nicest boy. Very nice coat. Very easy care and short. Yes. And if you notice the way I'm holding him, this would cause some dogs a great deal of stress. He's stressed, but not that much, and not by the way I'm holding him, because he literally backed into this position and is fine with it. Just a good dog. Our pits tend to be a lot more stoic than some dogs anyway. They're not terribly nervous, at least the good ones aren't, and they tolerate handling and being moved around a little better than many dogs would. Yeah. Have a terrific summer.